Well, hello and welcome to another campaign video. This time, you might have guessed it already from the title of this video and from whatever is here in the caption. We are going to take a look at the Menagerie campaign. And yeah, as you can see, I've already played this once. I've won the first 8 kingdoms, and the last 2 I think I did in the second try. And yeah, I thought this one might be nice to showcase because it has loads of interesting kingdoms with horses and exile. And also I don't know, to switch it up a bit, I wanted to also show myself on camera. So, hello, that's my face. Yeah, as I said, it might be funny to see my reactions to the AI plays or to my draws directly, so I thought I might, yeah, look at you directly, stare into your soul, I mean, in this silly camera. But yeah, let me know what you think about this edition. And I'll also try to just be this small here in this corner to not obscure any of the important things in the kingdom. All right, that means we can start. As I said, Menagerie is a nice expansion with horses and exile mats. I will explain these concepts in this first kingdom and won't go into them as we progress through the campaign. Also, one thing you might notice is that, of course, since the camera is up there and the kingdom is down here, I will usually just be looking straight down, but I still think it will add a bit to the video, so I thought it might be nice. So this kingdom is, yeah, as menagerie as it might get. It has horses, it has the exile mechanic, it has ways in it, and we can immediately start by going through the kingdom. As always, feel free to skip this if you're familiar with everything, then yeah, you don't need to wait through this. I'll put a timestamp in the video as well. First off, we have supplies, which is a copper on play, but also it puts a horse onto your deck. And horses are those laboratory type cards that give you plus card and an action back, but you have to return them to their pile afterwards. So it's basically a one-time increase your hand size to 6 or increase your hand size by 1. And that means that supplies after the first play, since it gains a horse onto your deck, it will reimburse you for having drawn it. So the next time you will be able to draw it with said horse, and that means it's essentially a peddler variant, plus 1 card, plus 1 action, and a coin, with the difference of having to be drawn the first time around. Next up, we have another peddler variant, which is called Merchant. Oops, I forget that when I click, everything goes away. But Merchant, yeah, is plus 1 card and an action, and you get a coin if you manage to play a silver later during the turn. Very simple. Workshop, gain a card costing up to 4, also very simple. We have Bounty Hunter, giving you plus 1 action, and you exile a card from your hand. If you didn't have a copy of it in exile, plus 3. So this is a good moment to stop and briefly talk about the exile mechanic. Putting a card into exile means that it's still part of your deck. And in the physical game, there are those player maths. You can see them here. I brought them from my own copy of Menagerie. They say Exile, the German exile. And in the game, you put your cards that you exile, which is always told to you on the card itself, onto the exile mat, and then they will stay there until you gain a copy of one of the cards you have in exile. Like if there is a silver in exile and you gain a silver, later that turn, you can discard all copies of silvers at once from the exile. You're not allowed to only discard one copy if you have two copies of it in exile. You need to discard all of them or none, and it's always a choice of doing so or not. And this makes the exile mat, or the fact that the cards on the exile mat still belong to your deck, makes the exile mat a very important way to thin and also to green, because that means that you can keep the green cards out of your deck and like out of your active playing deck, but still in your deck for points reasons. And Bounty Hunter is very nice for that because it exiles a card from your hand, and for example, the first estate it will exile, it will also give you +3 coins. And same with the first copper you exile. So very pleasant, and later in the game it can bounty hunt provinces, duchies, and it can also bounty hunt village greens, because village greens are villages that either now or at the start of your next turn you get +1 card and +2 actions, and when you discard the village green, other than during cleanup, you may reveal it to play it. And now I told you that when you gain a copy of a card you have in exile, you may discard all copies of that card from the exile, and this discarding also applies to village green. Now, for example, let's say you have bounty hunted a village green, and you have now one copy in exile, then you buy one, then you can discard it and immediately play it for now or for the next turn, to set up the next turn. Very strong, very pleasant card. The other way to discard a village green on this board is the library, which will let you draw until you have 7 cards in hand, skipping any action cards you choose to, and then you set those aside and discard them afterwards. So if you see a few village greens there, you can just choose to discard them. Then we have Council Room, +4 cards and a buy. Each other player draws a card, very simple. And also, yeah, you always want to be careful not to get too many of those or not to play too many of those, because it will draw your opponent 3 cards. But it will also draw yourself 4 cards and give you a buy, so it's a very accelerative card for both decks, essentially. Then we have Gatekeeper, which is a weak duration attack. Because why do I say weak? Well, first off, the effect it does for you is only give you 3 coins, and that only on the next turn. So on the turn you play it, it does nothing for you. But it does attack the opponent in that when your opponent gains an action or treasure card they don't have an exiled copy of, they need to exile it. So every other copy they can just gain normally and discard the copy from exile. But if they don't have a copy of something in exile, they need to exile it. But yeah, it's on the weakish side, as I said. The effect, spending an action and a draw for just +3 on the next turn is just too weak. It is, however, strong in some contexts, like with black market or loots, but even then, yeah, it's not the priority card usually, even then. Let's get on with the Sanctuary, which on play has the same effect as Market Square, +1 card and an action and a buy. And then you may also exile a card from your hand. So this is very strong thinning. Finally, we have Fisherman, +1 card, action and a coin, so Peddler. And Fisherman either costs 2 when you have an empty discard pile, like at the beginning of the game, or costs 5 otherwise. And also we have this Way. So what is a Way? Way is a way to play your action card, or action cards in general. So whenever you play, I don't know, any of the action cards, your bounty hunter, you may also, instead of following the normal instructions, you may also just do the instructions of the way. And the way of the owl means that you can draw until you have 6 cards in hand. This is nice. This nice variant of draw, and yeah, also pretty flexible, more flexible than the library, of course. Since the library, you will, while it does draw up to 7 cards, you will have to have it in your hand at the correct time. Whereas for Way of the Owl, you only need to have any action card in hand. Finally, we have a weird event. So for 4 money, you can buy invest and invest into a card, into an action card, more precisely. And while that action card is in exile, when another player gains or invests in a copy of it, you also drop 2 cards. So invest is weird because it creates weird dynamics where you and your opponent dance around certain piles. A good target on this board that I can see is Village Green because it's the only village, and maybe also Council Room as it's the only strongish draw, but that's not. I think Village Green is much nicer to invest in because also Village Greens you can later gain and just discard from exile. Alright, this has been it with the Kingdom overview. So now I can start talking about what we are going to do here. And we are going to try to build big because this is an engine kingdom as engine-y as it gets. Also, if we look at the kingdom plot, I've reintroduced those now for this campaign. If we look at the kingdom plot, and I'm looking over there as it's on my other screen, you can see there that there is gains, thinning, draw, and village, all we want, and a tiny bit of attacking via gatekeeper, and also invest. I label as an indirect attack, basically, because it disincentivizes gaining from certain piles. But yeah, we have gains in, let's hide this again, sorry. We have gains in workshop, we have buys in council room and sanctuary, and thinning in the exile mechanic. Sanctuary and bounty hunter let you thin. There's a village and village green, and also draw in council room and library, and Way of the Owl, of course. And fishermen and supplies and merchants make it so you can also just build a deck full of peddlers. So yeah, what we'll try to do is get thin quickly and then build up payload from that. And then we'll try to facilitate this by using those peddlers, maybe put a workshop in to do some village green tricks with invest. And yeah, that's what I did last time, I think, and it seemed to work out nicely. Opening wise, on the 5-2 and on the 4-3, I think I both open Bounty Hunter supplies because Bounty Hunter and Sanctuary do similar things. Sanctuary gets through one more card in your shuffle, and you then exile a card, but Bounty Hunter does give you that +3 money on the first few plays, and that is usually more valuable than drawing this own extra card, especially if you don't have money to make use of those buys anyways. So 5-2 or 4-3 Bounty Hunter supplies, and 2-5 and the 3-4 I go for Fisherman and Bounty Hunter. But yeah, since we have the 4 in the first hand, we unfortunately cannot buy the Fisherman here. Now we do find this Bounty Hunter immediately. Hit 5, let's just go for Sanctuary. Hit 4 here. So there are a few options. What we could do is invest in Village Green already, or we could go for a workshop or supplies. But I think I like doing this investment in Village Green because the AI is going to try to grab some. I didn't know it would grab it right away, but that's very nice, I guess. And now we did not see the Bounty Hunter, but we did get to stash away another estate, which is nice. So we saw the Sanctuary not with the coppers, but also an estate. And I would say we keep the Village Green in exile for now. And just go for Fisherman and another Sanctuary to thin down even quicker. So now, can we do here? We can thin further. Actually, let's just now we can put away this copper for the +3 money, just because we are going to stash away coppers the next few turns anyways. I think what I like getting here is well, that's actually not a good argument. Let's put away the estate, as we don't need the 3 money. But what I like getting here might be a workshop, because this will also enable us to get the village green out of exile. And then yeah, we might do some shenanigans with it. Now AI got its council room. I think we do want a bit more payload in our deck, especially now that we're thinning out all of those coppers. And here, what we can do is thin this copper. Now get this out of exile, play it normally. Now, and draw 2 cards with this Bounty Hunter just to get through a bit more. The Bounty Hunter wouldn't have gotten us to higher values, so yeah. Now we need to note that we're getting rather thin, which is great, but also that means that we might afford to put more payload into the deck. Yeah, I think I like going for a gold here, just to still be able to buy some stuff. AI is doing good stuff as well, going for a bunch of village greens and council rooms. Now here, how much money is this then? We just play it. This is 9 money. I was too lazy to count there. Well, we could just bounty hunt this copper, gain a fisherman here, and with 8 money just go for gold supplies. And then next turn we might want to pick up a council room to get some actual draw in. Maybe this turn we might still do some shenanigans with horses, with Way of the Owl, depending on when we find our coppers. But yeah, the AI goes for that. Now can bounty hunt this village green for money and then play this horse as Way of the Owl, drawing us 3 cards and keeping the horse in our deck. We will be able to free this village green from exile. Now, what is the last card here? I think it's another copper, in which case, do we want to leave it there? Wait, is it another copper? I can look. No, it is not. What is it then? It's the other sanctuary, which we want to draw. Play normally. And yeah, now we get to next turn this. Already buy this province, and let's pick up another fisherman with it. And also, to not have our draw be too shaky, get this council room in. Because the AI, I think, with its deck is going to draw its deck anyways, so drawing it an extra card is not super impactful. So yeah, I like how this is going. AI, okay, just goes for 2 more gold. I think this might be too slow. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to do any of the the Way of the Owl stuff this turn anyways, and we have the council room here, so let's just draw through. Actually, I might have been able to preserve some horses there. Well, whatever. We can bounty hunt this province, exile this village green to de-exile it here, play it normally for next turn, and, well, we can also play this one for next turn. Now we have 16, and we can just double province here. I think that's the safest to go, and even if the AI double provinces now, we will be able to come back with another double province and, yeah, be on with it. And our deck is also super reliable to reach this double province each turn because we will always get rid of the provinces via the sanctuary. Yeah, I don't know. I think this is going great. What turn is it? It's turn 11, so we might be able to close it out on turn 13. The AI goes for double province duchy, which is, well, a bit scary, and that also means it would be able to do that as well as at the next turn. But yeah, we can just keep calm and exile this village green for plus coin. Another target for exiling stuff with bounty hunter here, if you need the money, are horses. Actually, it should have been maybe a horse. Now we do get to play all this. Can do it. Is this province money already? What is this last card? I think we just need to play this horse. But we do get to pick up an estate here. And can just double province and say, well, AI, good luck trying to, well, what does it need to achieve now to get to 34 points? It would need to province for 24 and then 3 duchies and an estate for the tie, and province and quadruple duchy for the win. Actually, it's not super far off from what it might be able to do. It had 24 money last turn, but that's not enough for the quadruple duchy. So at best, it will be able to province triple duchy, especially since it doesn't have that workshop. And yeah, we should be really flying here. But yeah, this was closer than I thought, especially seeing that the AI spent so much time building and getting those golds into deck. But yeah, I think we started provincing just in time. I liked most of the decisions we took, especially having that workshop. Gives us just this tiny edge in extra gains. And yeah, as I thought, the AI would not be able to catch up. These are our decks. They don't look all too dissimilar. AI doesn't have this workshop. I got a bit ahead on village greens just because of it. But yeah, this was close. And in the end, what saved me, I guess, was the first player advantage. And that's not a great thing to see, but well, this is just an engine kingdom. If it's played well, it will always be close and come down to minuscule decisions. I liked the invest on the village green. It drew us these 2 cards immediately afterwards, which was nice. Maybe the AI shouldn't have gone for the village green council room plan right after, or at least so early, because especially those early 2 cards snowball a lot. As in a late game, if you then draw 2 extra cards at the start of your turn while you have 3 horses on your deck, you're very likely to be drawing anyways, but at the early game, seeing your treasure or your thinner, your sanctuary earlier is more and more impactful. And yeah, with that, let's go back to this beautiful Menagerie Campaign screen and approach this next kingdom. And I will catch you in the next one. And let me know what you thought about this weird seeing my face thing. Goodbye.